Welcome to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I want to welcome you to another week at the channel. And if you are new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Fujica, and I serve this community as a business mentor, and I help people to achieve receiving their non-medical home care licenses. Before we move forward, consider liking the video. Definitely subscribe to the channel, especially if you've been here a couple of times and you enjoy the content. And then last but not least, hit that bell notification so that you're notified before I release a new video. Before we transition to the video, I do want to remind you that I have a couple of big things coming up. First, Saturday, May 20th, we are doing my next webinar, which is a step-by-step guide on how to open your non-medical home care agency. This actually runs the gamut of developing your business concept all the way to launch. So I really encourage you. This is not specific to California. Anyone who's interested in opening a non-medical home care agency would benefit from this webinar. And then secondly, I am so proud to discuss with you the launch of my Home Care Academy. So I'm so excited about that. That is something that's actually taking place in October. This is a live class that I will be facilitating in Sacramento in the month of October. So I'm so excited. If you're interested in either or both, the link will be below in the video description. So on to today's content. So today what we're discussing, and I'm actually receiving this question a lot. What can I look forward to in terms of running my business day to day? So I thought that it would be nice to do a day in the life of a home care agency business owner. So if that's something you're interested in, I hope you are, then stay tuned. Now, I do want to start this video off with a quote that I have used quite often on this channel, which is, "The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately." I love that quote. I love that quote because it really depicts what your journey is going to look like as an entrepreneur. So when you work for a company or you have a 9 to 5, you are responsible for what you're hired to do, which is typically a small piece of the pie as it relates to the complete operations of that business that you're working for. So sometimes you're not privy to all the people, all the other functions that it takes to make that business run. And so when you are the entrepreneur, when this is your business, all of that is under you. You control all of that. And literally in home care, it could be just you, because depending on how you're starting up, it's typically a 1 to 2 man show. And so I get the question often, hey, is this a profitable business? Am I going to make money here? Absolutely. But it will all depend on the effort. It will all depend on the hustle. It will all depend on your hunger in terms of how quickly and how successful you are. So I have identified 4 tips that I want to share with you that will help you understand what your daily operations will look like for your home care agency. Now, this is going to be different for others. I do want to share something with you guys. Now, when I was going through the licensing process and I looked for it, I could not find it, but I'm going to try to find it by the time I post this video. I used to watch this video and it was talking about operating your home care. And I would play that video over and over and over. It really inspired me. It really motivated me. But what I loved about it is it had me think and dream about, what am I going to do with my home care agency? So I really encourage you all to find a video such as that. Find an article, find a video that could really motivate you, that you can watch over and over and over. And as you watch that, that helps you to think of things that you will do differently for your agency or how you would conduct your business. It's really motivating. I did do a quick search before I hopped onto this video and I could not find it. I will put it in the video description if I do find it by the time I post this video. If not, then I will supply you with a lot of resources. I literally have been given the best compliment that I feel I could ever get on this channel. I've had quite a few people tell me that they got their license just based on watching my videos. And for those of you who have been with me from the very beginning, that's all I set out to do. So make sure you look through my videos. I have lots of resources out there, and I'll make sure to include some of those in the resources portion of my video description. So with that, we're going to transition to the first tip. The first thing you're going to start off your day with is administrative tasks. Now, I would say this, your phone. There should be some type of answering service. Now, there's so many options for you to utilize, whether you're going to have your own cell phone. Sometimes I've heard people having two phones, one for their personal use and then one for business use, which I absolutely recommend. The reason why I say that is because you don't want to be utilizing your personal phone for business and a potential client calls and you're saying, hello, this Fujica, or whatever the case may be. That person is looking for a professional tone, right? They're looking for someone professional to answer that phone. So thank you for calling ABC Home Care. This is Fujica. How can I help you? Something as simple as that really rolls off the tongue and lets the person know right away that they have reached a reputable business. Now, I will say this. I think it's too late for you to get to the office and then you're checking your voicemails. And so whether you're working from home, whether you're going into an office, because our patients are starting and stopping care at different times depending on needs, you really have to be on top of people that are calling in, people that are running late, because remember, you got to pass that communication down to your client. So you want to make sure that they are not going without care. If the gap in between service is too long, let's say for instance, you want an employee, they were supposed to be at the client's home at 8 o'clock. They're not getting there till 9 o'clock and it's 7 o'clock now. Well, now you should be looking for someone to fill in that time slot, or you're contacting that client to see what we can do in the meantime. But you see what I'm saying there? You have to be there to get the call in order to understand what action needs to take place. The second item that I have under administrative tasks for sure are emails. Now, I listen to quite a few different schools of thought. Some people only check emails at the beginning of the day. Some people check it at the beginning of the day, end of day. I will be honest with you, I typically check emails throughout the day. And that's just to ensure there's nothing important that I need to action. There's not something important that's waiting for me that I'm holding up the process. So I would say throughout, but certainly you want to start your day by making sure you understand if there are any emails that require your immediate attention. If this is applicable, any mail that you're receiving. So you want to make sure, again, because now that you're in business, you're going to be getting lots of pieces of mail. It's easy to pull out the solicitation things, things of that nature, but some items may need your attention. So you really want to make sure that you're opening your mail to make sure that you understand when you should be prioritizing and addressing those pieces of mail that actually do require action from you. The second task that you'll be doing to operate your home care agency are meetings. Now, in my eyes, there are two types of meetings. The first meeting is an actual meeting that you are conducting with your staff. Now, this is a little bit more formal. So these are typically scheduled. Typically, you would have sent out an agenda to say, hey, these are the topics that I want to talk about. Is there anything that you would like to add on to it? And then as you open and close your meeting, in between, you're going down each agenda item and making sure that you're providing updates on any open items from the previous meeting. I love meetings because it's really a chance to see your business at work. Each department of your business really should be represented in that meeting, and we're going to actually talk about that a little bit further in the next section. And then you really get to see your players, your key players, really get to see what they're focusing on to ensure that your business is operating. Now, for my leaner agencies, listen, when it was just me and my husband operating my home care agency, he and I sat down and had a formal meeting every week. So listen, we don't take that for granted. We don't want to assume things are happening. You really have to make sure that you're on top of items, that you're discussing them, and that you're meeting them to ensure that every week or every day, whatever that time frame is, that you're moving your business forward. The second type of meeting that I want to discuss today are called touch points. So touch points are a little bit more informal, right? So these are not sit downs. These are, I am reaching out and touching every aspect of my business. So if you have someone that is doing your marketing, for instance, you're reaching out to that employee to see what tasks that they're going to be doing on today. If you know they're working on a particular project or a particular campaign, Hey Fujica, I'm just checking in with you to see how your campaign is going. So really just trying to, and really that question is trying to make you understand as an owner, do you need to get in there a little bit more? Does that person need a little bit more guidance from you? Or is the project working as smoothly as anticipated? You won't know the answer to that if you don't do touch points. Now, the third portion of your day is personally my favorite, and I call it the engine. If you think about the engine in your car, without the engine, you're not really going far, right? You're not getting anything done. So what are the items of your engine that make your business run? I have 3 as an example for you. The 3 parts of our engine that we're going to discuss today is marketing, customer service, and recruiting. You have got to make sure you're putting your business out there. So we talked about this with our touch points. You may not be touching anyone because at this point you may be operating lean. And so that means it's you. You are carrying that responsibility. So if you are carrying that responsibility, now's the time in your day that you either initiate your marketing efforts or you're following up on them. But every day, somebody should be touching your marketing for your business. The second piece we're talking about is customer service. If you don't have clients, you don't have a business. So what does this look like? Are there any presentations that you need to schedule and on behalf of your client? Has your client called you? Has a current client called you or asked you a question that you have not been able to return their phone call to? I'm actually glad that I said that. Typically, when someone reaches out to you, there's a phone call that's made to you, you really want to make sure that you return that call within 24 hours. Listen, there are too many home care agencies out there. The competition is really thick. You don't want to sit on a potential call. You don't want to sit on a call from a potential client. They will move on and never get back to you. So you want to make sure that you're prioritizing reaching back out to that client. The same can be said by your employees. Remember, with your employees, you may not necessarily be able to turn around and answer within 24 hours, but even if it's just to say, hey, I haven't forgot about you, I'm still looking into your situation, there should be something for that person to know that you're working on it. And the last aspect of our engine today is recruiting. So remember, we're talking through that recruiting process, right? Do you have interviews you need to conduct today? Have you sent some affiliation requests through the state and you need to follow up on those items? Are you waiting for a drug screen? Like, what's happening with each of your candidates? So on that tracking mechanism, it should show you clearly who your candidates are and where they are in the step of the process so that you can then follow up with those candidates that are trying to come into your agency. Just like we talked about, potential clients are not going to be waiting too long. Same thing with potential employees. If they think the process is taking too long or they're not hearing from you, they will move on to the next agency because typically there's going to be an urgency with someone who's looking to get a position. The fourth and final tip that I have for you today is follow-up tasks. So let's say you called someone this morning. Maybe they emailed you back since then. So now there needs to be some type of follow-up. Again, maybe there's something a client is waiting for, an employee is waiting for. There should be time carved out in your day where you can follow up on certain items. We talked about meetings earlier in this conversation. So if there are open items for your meeting, this would be a good time for you to look and kind of look into what those pending items are so you can close them out in the next meeting. Guys, I do have a bonus tip for you, and something that I feel will really help you out is making sure that you're organized. There's a way that you can use your current calendar to ensure that you are organized. Now, I know some of you will have a daily planner, and that's good, but I recommend using your Outlook calendar. So I'm actually going to switch over now to show you what I'm talking about. I am actually going to pull up my calendar, and you should be looking at today, April 26th, as an example. So as you can see, I had a meeting for a black tie fundraiser at 9:30. Let's say from 12 to 1 o'clock, I am going to be taping a video. And remember, we talked about doing administrative duties at the top of this video. So whether that's you doing your emails, you checking your voicemails, let's say from 7 to 8, you're going to be doing administrative duties. Something that I have really asked people to do is, and this is including myself, it took me a long time to do this, I would say schedule a 2-hour break in your day. Let's say it's 2 to 4. And that 2 to 4 may be projects. It could be follow-up items. It could be phone calls. But this is really a time for you to get caught up on your day. What I like about you scheduling it is if someone else is trying to schedule time with you, this time now shows up as blocked. But what I really like about using this calendar, which is different from using a planner, is it is in the system. You will actually get notifications and reminders that an event is coming up. And what I really like about this is you can go in and print this day. So what I do, so see, you see all of the items for today on your paper here. And when you print that out, you can put it on a clipboard, and as you're talking to people, you're having conversations, and as people want to talk to you, they say, hey, can we check back at 2:30? You're looking down at your clipboard and saying, actually, no, I can't. Or if you know you kind of booked or if you know you booked that time and it may not be necessary, then you can slide in that 20-minute phone call. What I also like a bit about this is any areas that are blank, anything that's blank on your calendar, this is where you're writing notes. It could be follow-ups from a previous task that you worked on, but it really allows you to be more organized. Guys, you can print this a week at a time. You can print your whole entire month, but this is a way to really keep you organized because, as you know, as a business owner, organization is key. Welcome back. I hope you found that bonus tip was actually very helpful for you. I know it's been helpful for me. This is truly how I keep myself organized because it is so easy to be pulled in 10 different directions. And we really have to make certain as business owners that we are focused on the task that deserves our attention. That is all I have for today's video. Listen, if you are still requiring a little bit more assistance, definitely reach out to me on my website, which is simplyfujica.com. For those of you who have follow-up questions or just want to ask me a question, you can reach out to me at simplyfujica@yahoo.com. Okay, guys, that's all I have today. Stay blessed.